Over the past years, the U.S. military has protected our homelands from invaders, something that our country takes great pride in, except one policy that our federal government has been wrestling with. Should we allow openly gay people to serve in the military, or should we keep the old policy of don't ask, don't tell in place? What are the pros and cons of don't ask, don't tell?
The cons of don't ask, don't tell are exactly what I just said. I feel like that gay soldiers are living a lie. They can't be who they are openly. And I just feel like people have the right, especially soldiers that defend this country, to be who they are. It doesn't matter whether they're gay or straight. You can either do your job or you can't do your job. And I think that any soldier, straight or gay, would choose to have somebody next to them in a tense situation that knows how to do their job, and they wouldn't care whether they're gay or straight.
A lot of people will say that one of the pros about it is that it helped eliminate the possibility of personal relationships forming. One of the things that the military always worries about is maintaining what they call good order and discipline. So making sure that people are able to obey orders, are able to work in close quarters with each other, and don't have personal relationships that interfere with that. And so one of the pros of it was supposedly that it would keep that from happening within units, because people couldn't form relationships, romantic relationships, or more personal relationships if they couldn't acknowledge their sexual orientation. Personally, I was not someone that ever really bought that argument, but it was considered one of the pros of it. Obviously, the cons of it is that there were individuals who then couldn't serve, who wanted to serve their country in a time when we have an all-volunteer force, and they couldn't do that because they were unwilling to have to disguise that part of themselves and their character and their personality.
Since Don't Ask, Don't Tell's debut in 1993, 13,500 service members have been kicked out of the U.S. military after they are found out to be gay, lesbian, or bisexual. What is your opinion about Don't Ask, Don't Tell?
My opinion is it should stand as it is. If they're going to have a policy, I believe that it should stand as it is. My opinion is that there's soldiers of all ranks that have, to say, an understanding of a phobia, which is a fear of something. You have people who have arachnophobia, afraid of spiders, and different kinds of phobias. And you can have guys that are educated all the way through and have a master's in their education and be as knowledgeable as. But when it comes to having a fear of something, then when you make people acknowledge something, in my opinion, is when you're asking for trouble.
Just doesn't make sense to me. We should not be denying gay and lesbian Americans the ability to serve our nation simply because of who they are. We should not make them lie in order to serve.
My view for Don't Ask, Don't Tell is that soldiers should be able to serve whether they're gay or not, and they shouldn't have to hide it.
Why?
Why? Because when you are serving, speaking to somebody who has served in the military, I served with people that were gay. They didn't come out and say they were gay. It was a known thing. Some of those soldiers were good soldiers, great soldiers. Some of those soldiers were not. I think that what you do in your private time should have absolutely no impact on how you do your job.
Don't Ask, Don't Tell has always been, I think, a very difficult policy. I was, even while I was on active duty, never a big supporter of it. I think it made no sense to say that someone could serve in the military regardless of their sexual orientation as long as they didn't tell anyone about it. And so it was always a very awkward policy to try to enforce as someone in a leadership role. And again, it made no sense to say it's all right to be a gay or a lesbian, just don't let anybody know about it.
On December 19, 2010, the Senate repealed the ban with a monumentous 65 to 31 vote.